Hi, this video is in response to God Uses a Mac video when Atheists Attack. I'm fairly new to YouTube, but I've been on the internet for several years, been parts of other communities. Some of them have been religious, others have been secular. But one thing that never really ceases to amaze me is how emotionally involved people get within these systems. And initially I thought that they were all acting, kind of like a soap opera. But then, as time went on, at least with some of these people, I realized that they really were angry, that they really were depressed, or they really were hurt from just these interactions going on. Especially with communities where you don't have the video component, where it was just basically text, chat room, whatever. Really surprised by that. But maybe I'm just too indifferent as a person. And I can't remember who said it, but somebody said it at some point, the average man is a fool. And I really do believe that. And that includes most Christians. And it's not synonymous with stupid, per se. It could also be in regards to disobedience. It could be in regards to being a hypocrite or trying to stretch a truth, whatever. There's different categories. But certainly, unfortunately, I do basically see our species as a bunch of clowns, really. In a lot of ways, worse than children. But as far as the mocking component going on, yes, that is to be expected. And that's why in another one of my videos that I made, I mentioned why I thought atheists were useful, especially against Christians. They're useful in testing a Christian's knowledge, in their emotions, and maybe sometimes even their faith. And certainly with the mocking and ridicule, it's a good test of the Christian's their self-esteem, their emotional stability. So I do welcome those tests. And also, it gives you an opportunity when the atheists go on with that tactic. It gives you an opportunity to see what kind of Christian the person really is, what kind of person they are, what true colors, I guess you could say, how far advanced spiritually they are, and just in how they handle that and how they respond to that. So it's also useful in that aspect. You also made mention of the video concerning people of extreme faith with high serotonin levels. I believe it was high serotonin levels. It may have been low serotonin levels, but I think it was high. And I believe that was Atheists at Large in Chicago. At least that's the video where I first saw that. And that video, along with the atheist explanation for near-death experience, those two serve as a good example of where the atheists take their religious, it is a religion, but they take the science and their conclusions too far, because the serotonin level, the measurement or the result of those with extreme faith, and also the near-death experience where they explain it as the tunnel and the light are results of the way the brain is shutting down. Those two phenomenon, the only thing they have proven is the physical manifestation of those phenomenons. So basically what I'm saying is, with near-death experience and with great faith or belief and obedience, with those two phenomenon, you have a spiritual component, and then you have a physical manifestation or a physical component of that. And it would make sense that would be the way it would be, because that would sustain free will and choice throughout the advancement of science. Because God will have a certain phenomenon, and that phenomenon will be able to be explained either in a spiritual sense, in an incorporeal sense, or in a physical, empirical sense, thereby sustaining our choice. What are we going to choose? Both of them are objectively equal, probable or disprobable, and it sustains faith as time goes on. So when atheists state that the serotonin is the reason for faith, or they state that the light in the tunnel are simply a physical shutdown of the brain, they're only proving the physical manifestations. They certainly cannot. That does not disprove God or disprove the spiritual components of this phenomenon. And when they tell you that it does, they're in error. But you're right about you should have expected all this attacks and whatever. The Bible tells you that was going to happen. And if you can, if it helps, try to think of it as a medal or a payment or a sign that you're doing something right. And by all means, keep on going. I would just caution not to become biased towards the atheists. Be cautious, but I wouldn't become biased. Certainly not as a stereotypical thing. And be careful in your responses, especially when you're going against ridicule or another type of attack. Be careful, because if you go too far, you will sin. And remember that vengeance is God's, and He will deliver that to everybody their due when the time is right. Thank you.